3 points. Clean sheet. 4 wins in 5. I'll take that because largely that was a pretty awful game of football. Lisandro Martinez, look, you make your own luck. He took the shot, big deflection. I would be pissed if United conceded that. But who cares? United with 3 points there and a big result. And that's what we need right now. We are not a free-flowing team. We are largely awful. I'm going to speak about Hojlund and speak about the game itself. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. But Martinez, lovely. That's all you can say about it, all right? That was our first shot on target prior to that. I don't know how many more shots we had. Ahmad, millimeters. It's one of those offside decisions, which is so, Anyway, 1-0, doesn't really matter. But Martinez came up with the goods there. I thought he was going to get into a little bit of a scrap with Adama Traore. Sent him to the gym, what was it last time? 2 1-0 wins over Fulham this season. And Martinez has been, look, something that really was awful in that game was when United had so much possession in our back three, it was very slow, it was very cumbersome. If I'm going to say one of those centre-backs who was trying to make a difference there, it's Martinez. Whether he did that away against City or whether he did that there tonight. Martinez is definitely the defender who will break those lines. But can I just take a moment here to say big up to Toby Collyer, all right? He has come into this Amorim squad, and he is now ahead of Casemiro in the pecking order. I think he's ahead of Eriksen as well. It's been a big week for him. His first ever start for United in a European game at Old Trafford. Thought he did really well. Coming off the bench away at Arsenal, really good cameo in the FA Cup. There tonight with that earned United 2 points. That right there, you saw the celebrations from the team. And defensively there tonight, I thought that was a pretty good overall performance from United. I expected Fulham to be more dangerous than they were, and I think Amorim will be happy with that. I don't think he's going to take too much away from the game itself. Let's be totally honest, because there was just an awful lack of quality in that game, but from both teams, by the way. United kind of held Fulham at bay. Even when Traore came on, I thought the subs were smart, and I thought the subs were correct from Amorim. Put Yoro over there, take Mazraoui off. But I think I'm concerned, more than concerned about Rasmus Hojlund. You know me and how I judge United players. First season, I don't give them a hall pass, but I will sort of forego issues that I see because it's their first season. And in the second season, I expect development. But in the opposite direction, that is where Hojlund is heading. He is regressing as a United striker. Every time the ball went into him in that first half, it bounced off him. Like, really awful first touch. I still don't understand why he's staying so close to his defender. And I'll tell you what, I was a little bit confused, really, because I think it was clear that that was the approach that Amorim went. I think Onana was kicking it long from like a direction and a tactic. So in that sense, I'm surprised that Hojlund started because Xerxes would have been better at it. But there won't be any players in this team who just get given more opportunities and time to develop simply because of the price tag. Like, we've just sent Anthony on loan to Real Betis. And I think that's kind of indicative of any player. If you're not developing and you're not progressing, you will be replaced. And Hojlund has to look at his game. For someone who is a physical and strong dude, it doesn't use his body properly at all. Really, really frustrating to watch Hojlund play. And Amorim will have taken that away from that game. I'm delighted for the fact that we've got the result there, because right now we are in results territory, man. The league, it doesn't matter this season. From now on, like from this point on, it doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to get into the top 4. We've never been in a relegation scrap, despite what the headlines would try to make you believe. The league for the rest of the season now is just somehow, game after game, trying to piece it together. But it was so slow and cumbersome in that game. That's what I was struggling with the most. And I tell you what, Ahmad was not in that game enough. Not because he had a bad game, but I don't think United were actually trying to play through Ahmad enough. Bruno was deeper, and when Bruno's deeper, United sometimes have a little bit more control in that tempo of the pitch, in terms of tempo in that area of the pitch. But bringing Bruno deeper, there was a disconnect. Ahmad found himself disconnected, kind of drifted over to the other wing. We were hardly playing through, and I tell you, a part of that, I think, is Dalot. That was just a stinky game of football. That's the way I would describe that game. Obviously, Martinez came up. Look, it was lucky, all right? Of course it is. But you take your own luck, you make your own luck. I keep saying, like, the fact that Martinez, our centre-back, was stepping forward and taking the shot there, it's won the game for us. Now, something I did like, right? And we've been kind of speaking about this on the channel for a while now. When Mainu came on for the last 10 minutes of that game, Mainu played slightly further forward. I think in the goodness of time, that's where Mainu's career lies. I don't think his career lies in deeper central midfield. Mainu's qualities with the ball at his feet, the touches, just the finesse that he has, you get to use it a lot more in the opposition's final third than you do in midfield. When you're deeper in midfield, it's all about kind of security and kind of more what you would expect from Toby Collyer coming in. But Mainu, I want to see him slightly further up. Does that mean that Bruno will end up playing deeper more often? Well, it wouldn't be as much of a disconnect if you then had someone like Mainu who could operate as one of the inside forwards and be more of a creative link for the team. It's just something to think about, all right? It's just something to think about. Martinez with the moment, all right? And it was a game that just didn't have much quality. I think Amorim's going to be going back and saying, like I said at the start there, 4 wins from 5 United have got now. It really doesn't feel like that. It really, the way that we have been playing football, like that Southampton game, obviously we got the hat-trick from Ahmad, but just for large parts of that game, it's just like so much of that Rangers game. Bruno coming up clutch towards the end. We're not really seeing the control that Amorim wants. I mean, technically, you had control of the ball there for a lot of that game against Fulham, but it was very unthreatening. You know, like Louis van Gaal had that. So much possession, not much threat. And is that coming down to the patterns? Is it coming down to individual quality? I think it's kind of all these things are correct. And United got to work on that. We've got Steaua Bucharest coming up next. And then in the league, we've got Crystal Palace, I think, next at home. We need new wing-backs in this team. That's the one specialty position which this squad just does not have for Ruben Amorim. And until we get them, I don't think we will see United really play properly aggressive and fast football out from the back. It ends up being as slow as it was there. Ultimately, we're in results territory right now. We're not going to see this huge growth and progression of this Amorim team week in, week out until, I don't think anyway, maybe the end of January. When we get a wing back in, we need one. It will make a big difference. But Martinez would have been buzzing about that because of the Traore situation. Got into a little bit of a scrap. 3 points, a clean sheet. Where are we in the league now? I don't know, probably 12, something like that. Either way, I'm very much taking that. As awful as the majority of that game was, a win's a win.